I am legally obligated to tell you that I may not keep your secrets. And that ding starts off episode 15 of the Social Outcast. Social Outcast 2.0 to be exact. I am Marsh, your host, and I am here with my co-hosts.
The Radical Machine.
And
And Blitz, your host from Man the Scene. Welcome to the show.
excuse me. So, Social Outcast 2.0. This was Blitz's idea where we come up with topics that we want to talk about. And then we talk about them on the show. We discuss them in thorough detail. And that's it. You know, not so much as like an insane sort of thing where we just get drunk and talk about whatever and we're doing the show from under the desk or having a lightsaber fight in the background. You know, nothing like that.
That was, kind of the low point of our show.
Yes.
I think the lying under the desk literally was the low point of the show.
I don't remember that.
My desk is very comfortable, though. I can fit perfectly under it. Anyway, so the topics for this episode include... Let me pull up my notes because I am unprepared as usual. Reading level of books. Mainly... excuse me. Mainly, if a book has a reading level of 10, but someone goes through and enjoys it when they're like, say, 18 to 20. You know, what exactly does that say? Well, we'll discuss that later on. The next one is, what is your favorite airplane? Or jet?
Do I have to answer?
Aircraft. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's mainly for me and Matt, but I know you can tune in for the books. And then finally, what is on your bucket list? So, to start the show off, we're going to talk about our weeks. So, Blitz, how was your week?
My week was exhausting. I was up basically every night past midnight, have to get up at 7 for work. So I passed out 2 out of the 5 days this week getting home from work, those being the days that I don't have after work activities. It all started when I had my soccer game for the week, and the start time was 10:15 p.m. Yeah, that's right. Start time.
What? Ugh.
So,
Must be
last year in our league, most of the games started at 7:30, which is reasonable. No, this time they're like, you guys can start at 9:30, 10. So, it is what it is, and that's when we played. We still won, but man, that was brutal. Because the worst part is, after that, I'm not tired. Just ran around. You would think I'm exhausted, but that's not the way that I work. Usually running around and stuff just stimulates me more and makes me less likely to fall asleep until it's about 2 a.m. I have to get up 5 hours later. And then the next day's bowling. That went late. Didn't get home until about 11:30 again.
Well,
and
you also literally have to drive to, like, the edge of the world.
Relatively speaking.
It's a
depending
joke.
on what your world is. Which, I was going to say, an interesting thought I had real quick is, because my brother was telling me about, the size of game worlds and such, and I was just wondering, maybe we can do this as a topic for another show. How big are these game worlds compared to the actual world. Like, could you do a trip around, say, Skyrim in real life in one day?
Yes.
Because it's not really that big of a game. But let's not segue into that because new format. Stick to the plan.
You know what? Send me that. We can talk about it next week because
Yeah.
I actually did look into this, and it was amazing at some of the games.
Well,
Like
how about you just write it down right now on a
I,
notepad file, or fine, I'll do it.
all right, notepad file. Yeah, I got that. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Sorry.
Okay. Anyway, so get home late from that, and then I'm not tired. So what do? I remember that Fire Emblem Heroes was recently released.
And you got me dragged into that. That game's awesome.
Well, you played the Awakening game.
For all of like 20 minutes, and then I gave up on it.
Oh.
You're missing out, man. But
No, I'll be honest. Playing Heroes makes me want to go and play Awakening
that's kind of the whole point of it. It's
and
one
test
big
out the other ones.
advertisement.
But it's a solid game.
Oh, I trust me, it is. The one thing I'm disappointed is that they don't have the heroes from the Radiant games. There's no Ike, no Grail Mercenaries.
Really?
Like, yeah, I have not seen them at all in there. Kind of disappointed by that.
I know there was a post. I don't know how true this is because you can't trust everything on the internet. But there was a post that said some guy sunk in maybe like $1,000 into this game, and he still doesn't have like one hero. Like he's got multiples of every other hero. He's missing one,
I believe it.
That sucks.
and it's definitely like, oh come on,
Nintendo.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the rest of the week was pretty much uneventful after that. Just the same old have it, stay up,
Sounds like you
play that game, go to
Had enough.
sleep, stay up, play guitar, that kind of stuff. And that's enough about me. How about you?
I've had like one hell of a day, hell of a week at work. So we got a new guy last week, and so now I'm responsible for not just myself not being total garbage at my job, but someone else. He's doing the job that I do because my job lies between that weird, awkward scenario where it's not enough work for two people, and yet it's still too much for one. It's just that it's bordering right between the two to where it affects both. So if I'm on my own, certain jobs, like the ones that we've had for the past couple days where I think it was 37 coils come off of one machine. Yeah, I can't do that on my own. I'm going to need a hand. But then there was like Monday and Tuesday where it was, okay, well, it's pretty slow today, and we're gonna have you do this, and he does that in 20 minutes, and then I'm back doing what I was doing, and I had just finished that up. He's like, so what else do you need me to do? I'm like, oh man, I guess go make skids. So like Muhammad, the new guy, made skids probably like 80% of the time this week. Because like we just did not have enough work to do, and it drove me insane. Cuz like, he keeps asking me for stuff to do, but I don't have anything.
Shouldn't he be asking Greg?
No, because Greg's up in the office doing
Oh.
his stuff. Like that's the thing about me teaching Muhammad is that I give him things to do.
Oh.
So Greg the other day was teaching him how to drive the high-low and whatnot, which that's totally fine because I found out I don't think I'm a very good teacher when it comes to work stuff. Like, just give that job to someone else, and then once he's good to go and he knows what he's got to do, then I'll be able to, like, go in and say, okay, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And so I'm going into work tomorrow, and our high-low's dead. So I have to go out to get a new battery for it. I have to install the battery. So it's going to be an hour and a half before we actually have the use of our high-low. It's going to be another hour before the slitting machine is actually going and actually starts working. And then it's going to be yet another hour before that coil's done because it's thin, stupid garbage that takes an hour to run through one coil. And there's two of them. Not to mention, it's very thin cuts, and there's a lot of them. So tomorrow's going to be fun and eventful. And once it gets going, it's going to go really fast. Day's going to be over like nothing, which is fine. It's just, it's that 3-hour start time that's going to drive me nuts. Because we start at 7, and AutoZone, where I have to go to pick up the battery, literally doesn't open until 8. And it's a couple miles away.
So you can't do anything for an hour?
And a half, mainly. We're going to be cleaning. Lots and lots of cleaning.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be
have a
rough.
pretty looking workplace?
Yeah, we got to prettify it.
Previously, I'm prettified.
And so I've been drowning in Kingdom Hearts outside of work, which I absolutely love the new game. I completely crushed point 2, so no spoilers there. And I'm currently working my way through Dream Drop, which is kicking my ass. Because I have effectively hit a level wall that I've got to scale very, very slowly. And unfortunately, I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty available to me right now, which is Proud, the second highest. I don't think I'm going to go and play it on critical unless there is a trophy, because I want to complete these 100%. Because I think that would be really funny. Anything new with you?
Jackson can say a lot of words.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
He's
about
finally getting to the point where he can talk.
Oh, he's been able to talk for a while, but I've been going over certain words like numbers, body parts, other words,
He's got
letters.
my grandmother was always calls it eggies when she goes and feeds him eggs for breakfast.
Because he's a baby.
So he picked up on that. And
Great. So now he's gonna call them eggies instead of just egg.
He
When
I saw
morning he says eggies.
I saw him yesterday. They were having breakfast for dinner. He points at the eggs and he goes, "Eggy," picks it up and then he eats it. It's like, oh my god.
He can say he can say 1 through 10 except for 3 and 7.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's one of the words I was trying with him.
Oh, cool. Alrighty, well, the week is done. We are on the weekend.
Yay! The best part of the week.
So, moving on to books.
Books,
Could
books,
you
books,
first
books, books.
Explain the description.
Well, I just threw in all 3 of our topics, so the description is,
okay.
you're a bookworm pilot killing off his bucket list.
A bookworm pilot makes it sound like a pilot who reads while he's flying.
That's what autopilot's for.
Oh.
All right, well, We are on to art. That is the wrong thing. There it is.
Okay, so I need to clarify something with you really quick then
Go
on
ahead.
this topic. So when you say reading level, and your example was 10, what
Yes.
system are you following to
This
get
will be
that reading
especially
level?
helpful for me.
Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. So, there was a book that I read in high school that came out. No, not high school. I don't remember when it came out, but it was around anywhere between 2010 and 2012. There was a book called Morpheus Road, The Light. And on this cover had a very menacing red figure. What?
It's just a very bad name for it because it looks like such a dark book, but it's got a light name.
It's a really dark book. And it's the title that dragged me into it.
Did you figure out why it was called that?
Yes,
Okay.
because one of the characters was literally a ghost pushing his friend into the right way. And then at the very end, I think he walked into the light. So he basically moved on to
okay.
the afterlife. But it's a very dark book. There's a a spiritual killer that I can't remember his name, but he's got this wide brim hat on, this red trench coat. He's super black, got long fingers, got this creepy ass grin on it. Great book. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I loved it. I destroyed that book in like a couple days, if not at most a couple weeks. I was done and I loved it and I wanted more. So I remembered that when after we moved, I was going through our bookshelves
You're
and
welcome.
thank you. I saw, I think it's in the other one. No, I'm not going to worry about it right now. And I saw that Morpheus Road, The Light, was on our bookshelf. I'm like, yeah, I know that one's got a sequel. So let me see if they've got the third one. Because
You didn't get. Did you get the sequel?
no, not yet.
Uh,
I want to, but I looked up the sequels. There's two of them because it's a trilogy, and it's Morpheus Road: The Black is book 2, and then The Blood is book 3.
I thought it was the road.
No.
Or is that just his name?
It's Morpheus Road:
Okay.
The Black, Morpheus Road: The Blood, The Light, so on, so on, so on. So, while looking through the description of the book, I noticed something. And it said reading level 10.
Oh, okay.
And so this is a young adult novel. And it makes sense. It's sort of written for a younger audience. So that way it's easier to understand. And I did a little bit of research.
Okay,
And
and what'd you find out?
so I looked up reading level. And in a majority of the reading level guidelines, it depends on word count, number of different words, ratio of different words to total words, high frequency words, low frequency words, sentence length, the sentence complexity, the predictability, the language pattern and repetition, print size, spacing, and number of words per page, illustration support, concept load, and topic familiarity.
And do you remember when you asked about, like, the print size and the number of words on the page? Like, you noticed that kids' books have less words
Yes.
and bigger words?
Yes, the younger the book is advertised to, generally the bigger the words and the less words per page. Now, what I've got currently is 2001: A Space Odyssey, sitting right here on my desk. You crack it open, and it's pretty small. It's got a decent amount of words. There's about 240 of them. It's decent complexity because it's a hard sci-fi novel. It's got a mystery around it, and then I crack open Abaddon's Gate, and it's essentially the same, except it's a bit longer. And that one's complex because I've actually had to go in and like highlight a word and say, all right, what's this mean? Look it up real quick. Oh, okay, that's what it means. And so, what my question was is that if it's a lower reading level, and let's just say someone in their 20s, me, okay, goes in and reads a lower level reading book, but thoroughly enjoys it. What exactly does that say? Does that say that the author is good at writing books for kids, but still has enough entertainment for an adult? Or do I just have very low standards on entertainment?
Well, there are certain things like movies that can be enjoyed by adults and kids, not
Oh,
just
yeah.
for nostalgia.
Oh, yeah, I get it. But, like,
Maybe it's like
it's.
that.
It's mainly. I don't know.
So, all right.
Go.
So here's my take on it, right? So it
Sure.
sounds like you're concerned that if you talk about this book and you say, "Oh man, it was so great. I loved talking about it and everything." You're concerned that people will think, "Oh, hey, that sounds cool. What is it?" And then you say, "Oh, it was a Dr. Seuss book or something." Like
Right.
something that's
Does
associated
that.
with being childish, and then people are like, "Oh, okay." So I was somebody criticizing you for reading these books? Is that where this is coming from?
No, 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 no. I just noticed
Okay.
that because it's like.
So
It's a
look,
book that I read when I was
level
younger.
reading level 10 would mean like 10th grade, not 10 years old. It would mean it's
Yes.
about you'd have to be in 10th grade in United States high school, 10th grade to be able to pick up on the book and fully understand what's going on. I don't think that's I don't think that indicates anything bad about the book. In fact,
About enjoyment
having
level.
Actually, that sounds
well,
like
actually, here's the
complex.
thing, right? If when you're writing an entertainment book, you don't want it to be complex. You don't want to write at a grade level 18 scholarly type of tone because how many
H.P.
books are you
Lovecraft, because good God, I have like 10 words per page, and I'm like, what the hell does this mean? Old
right?
timey English
And
crap?
and
I count
so
that.
that's the thing though. So how many of those books are you going to sell? I mean, okay, Lovecraft maybe he's an exception, but
Right.
on the whole, nobody's going to read your stuff. They're going to think that it's more of a chore than anything else. They're not going to enjoy it. Yes, there will always be hardcore people, so to speak, who will be elitist and say, "Oh, you can't really enjoy something unless it's well written and blah blah blah." I that's a whole different topic of that elitism kind of thing. But I would say if you read a book and even if it's grade level 7 and you enjoy it, to me that doesn't mean anything. Not anything bad anyway. It just means you enjoyed it. You liked reading it. I mean, some of the most famous works. I mean, look at. I know it didn't start as a book, and there's a lot of books on it now. Look at Star Wars,
Yeah.
like the original one from what was it, 1977. It
Yep.
got bad critic reviews. They were saying it was stupid. It was simple-minded. It was look what it turned into. A multi-billion-dollar franchise.
That is
Why?
now run by the world government of Walt Disney.
Right. And why? Because a kid, me, when I was 4 years old, I could watch that movie and enjoy it. Yeah, I didn't know everything that was going on. I most of the dialogue probably didn't make sense to me, but it was still cool. I loved it. I watched that movie on VHS, right? Because old school.
Yeah.
And then I would rewind it and watch the whole thing again.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it that much as a little kid. So that just says to me, I think reading level or complexity or whatever means nothing, really. It is what it is. It's saying what they're trying to say is that don't give this to your kindergartner to read, is all they're really saying. You know what I mean? They're saying just that this is what you can expect. So in case it does bother you, if you're trying to read something and you have to constantly look up words, but usually if you're smart enough, you can pick up on what words mean in the context. Like when I was in ninth grade, I read Treasure Island, which is an awesome book, and there's a lot of sailor talk in that book, which is makes it really authentic. And I am not a sailor at all, so most of those sailor talk words didn't really mean anything to me. But in the context, I knew kind of what they were talking about, so it didn't really matter. It didn't bother me. So I imagine it's probably the same thing where if you read something, but if you're going to have to pull out a dictionary every 2 seconds to look up stuff, that's not going to be entertaining. It's going to be a chore.
Right.
So I think it's smart to write a book, especially when you want to have a wide audience, to keep the reading level down. That doesn't mean that it's stupid or unintelligent or not creative or not thoughtful. It just means and in fact, I almost think it's a show that you're a good author. You know how to tell a good story in a simple way. That takes some serious talent.
What does a high or low frequency word mean?
I mean, like, the, they,
That's a those are low
he
frequency.
said. Well,
Those are
no, low
high
frequency
frequency.
is
You
like,
see those all the time.
oh, what's the famous one from?
What?
There's a really really funny thing. I had never heard of this word until I read Leviathan Wakes. I can't remember what it is now.
Oh well.
Um, but like there was a word, and it was Fred Johnson to James Holden, and it's like, if you are not under the control of so and so, then your next broadcast please include this word. And so like it appeared, and I'm like, hell does that mean? And I had to look it up, and I can't remember what it is because it was such a weird word. But then I saw it popping up everywhere.
You were looking for it
No, no. It would just pop up out of nowhere. And I'm like, what is going on right
in the
now?
book.
No, not in the book. Like real life. Pure VS had it. Sci-Fac had it. It was showing up in television, news, various other shows. It was weird. It was just downright weird.
Speaking to you.
You're right. It was like 115 with me and you, Matt. So you
Yeah.
notice it once, you start noticing it everywhere. It's paranoia and you're crazy. So I just looked in three different books. It's 2001 Space Odyssey, Abaddon's Gate, and City at the End of Time. Now, City at the End of Time is a young adult's book. Did not have a reading level in it. Neither did 2001 or Abaddon's. And that was weird. That I think so. That's just another one of my observations.
Maybe only.
Like a younger audience book will have it.
Maybe if it's only meant for minors, it will have a reading level.
Makes sense. That was just one of my observations. So
Yeah. Like I
fair
said,
enough.
I don't think it really says anything about you at all if you enjoy something that's got a lower reading level. And just it is what it is. All right, so in the interest of time, I think we should move on to our next topic.
Yes.
And what would you like that to be, Mr. Show Host?
All right. Let's go to the aircrafts. Can't remember
Hmm.
if that's right. Yes. Okay. So we are gonna start off with this lovely gem.
By the way, Secret Weapons Over Normandy, all the videos are uploaded now. Whole series is done.
Nice.
So this is perfect timing.
That's awesome. That's cool.
So what are we looking at there?
So we are looking at the FA 37 stealth bomber. Now, here we go. In a fit of embarrassment, earlier this evening, I was going through trying to dig up some research on the FA 37, to which I found a shot, more so a clip from a 2004 movie. So this movie is 12 years old. It is called Stealth, in which said FA 37 was used as a prototype stealth bomber as the main plot of the movie. My boss got trolled super hard from an email. I walked in earlier this week, I want to say it was Monday, and he was going through his emails. And so it showed this jet, this plane, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Pull back up for a minute. What the hell is that thing? And so it was like this huge Navy brochure, and it's like, this is the new USS Missouri. You know, not its real name, but it's like, this is the new USS Missouri. It is currently holding 2 of these fighter jets. This is the fighter's pilot who is currently going to go out on a testing mission. And it looked amazing. I'm like, that's a freaking spaceship. That thing's going to go into space. I guarantee it. So I did more research tonight, and when I did research before, I was too drunk to notice because I looked right at it and I'm like, oh, military aircraft in fiction. That told me nothing. I completely ignored the words fiction.
Like your 21st birthday?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I completely ignored the fact that it said fiction, not real, made up crap.
That's a story to tell.
Ugh. So I basically fooled myself into thinking that this thing was a brand new fighter jet that was an actual thing. And I was so excited when I saw it. And God damn it. My uncle's in the Navy, and I even told my grandmother, I'm like, oh, I wonder what he thinks about the new fighter jet that they came out. It looks pretty crazy. Oh my god! I am too stupid for this world.
He's gonna think you're an idiot.
Oh man.
Oh, god damn it. I, honest to God,
Okay,
almost
do you
called
have
my
the
uncle.
picture though of like what the blueprint looked like? Because you sent me a picture on our phone
Someone literally
of
came up with like a concept design for
yeah,
this
concept art or blueprint or
front,
whatever,
back, top, down, side, whatever.
like they usually do for actual aircraft.
Right. I have it, but it's like really crappy quality. I'll
Okay.
still throw it up because it's a
It's
cool picture.
just the I know, but there's something that didn't seem right about it to me, and that was the reverse swept wings on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't to me. I was that was the thing that I got hung up on looking at it.
Wait,
I was thinking, how is that aerodynamic?
aren't they
How the
using
heck
the
does that
government?
thing fly?
Like,
I have never seen a reverse swept wing like that where the wings are actually swept forward. And I'm thinking there's probably a good reason for that. Wouldn't that increase the drag? I mean, the whole point of having the wings swept back is that the air brushes past the aircraft so that it slices through the air. But if you swept them forward, that just, to me, that looks like that creates more surface area
Oh yeah,
and
no, it makes
more
total
drag.
sense.
And I'm thinking, why would they go to a design like that?
Real quick, Chrissy was trying to say something. What were you saying?
I thought the government was all about aerodynamicness and.
That's what Matt's talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't. That doesn't look efficient at all.
It doesn't matter whether or not it's the government or anything. It's aviation.
The Navy's with the government.
But still, it's aviation. You design a plane to be aerodynamic. So, doesn't matter if it's government or not. If it's going in the air, it's going to be aerodynamic.
It has to be, otherwise you'll crash and burn.
Honest to God, though, it looks like a damn space jet. And I was so excited when I saw it.
So it's from a movie then?
It's from a freaking movie.
Okay.
I have the damn movie.
There was a movie that I saw. I think the movie was called Firefox, and it was from the 80s, and it was based on a novel where the main character stole this experimental Soviet jet fighter. And it was actually kind of a really cool movie. And the climax ended up with him and the villain pilot dueling each other over the North Pole.
What?
I hope they did that to a tune of Jingle Bells.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the North Pole because he was trying to fly it out of the Soviet Union, and the fastest way to get back to America is to just fly over the top of the world instead of going around.
Right. They do it over the North Pole. There should be Jingle Bells.
I think he was supposed to rendezvous with a submarine that hit itself among the polar ice caps, and they were gonna land it and load it up or something.
Wow.
What? I'm pretty sure it was called Firefox. Was the name of the film?
Well, while you're looking that up, and before
it is. It stars Clint Eastwood. Okay, it was.
Oh
wow!
My God.
I thought Clint Eastwood only did his movies in the West and on the ground.
Oh my God. Let's see this.
Oh,
no,
that's
not. Why did it post that Firefox? I want the
you
film.
Just posted Mozilla Firefox.
No, I posted the URL for the film, and it posted that instead on.
I think it's
Skype
great.
is an idiot.
Well,
all right, let's try it again. Nope, it still didn't do it.
Well, you're fixing that.
It's because of Skype converted the film into that stupid animated emoji. That's why.
Okay. So I looked up that word real quick, going back to the book section. I looked it up, and it is ubiquitous.
Oh yeah, ubiquitous.
Yeah.
And doesn't that mean common everywhere?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm pretty sure it means that when something's ubiquitous, it means that it can be seen everywhere.
See,
it's something that is commonly done.
I had no clue.
I'm the
which is kind of ironic because you found out that the word ubiquitous is in fact quite ubiquitous.
I know. I had no clue, and I was like blown away. I'm like, holy crap. So Firefox.
Yeah, just type it in. Yeah, movie.
1980.
1982 is the actual year.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
Uh.
Oh my God. That's a great picture. Holy crap.
Is it? Are you able to share it or no? Is it bad?
No, I got it up.
Be shared.
I got it up.
That's the. Okay, here.
God.
Let me send you the picture of what the Firefox is, though. Here,
I think I see it. That looks pretty sweet.
It doesn't look like Clint Eastwood.
No, that's the promotional poster.
Yeah, go figure. But it still looks pretty sweet.
It seems like it should be Clint Eastwood.
It is.
But I said it doesn't look like.
It's from the 80s. He's not old as dirt.
I know.
There, post that up too.
Oh my God, that looks sweet.
I'm telling you, it was a decent film though. It was just randomly on TV one day, and it was on, and I think I was like playing a game or something and I saw it, I'm like, huh, that looks halfway decent. I'll actually watch that
That's
movie.
awesome. Huh. That's
I
huh.
mean,
That is
it's essentially a spy film with a
a fighter jet.
high-tech fighter jet duel for the climax.
Huh. That's awesome. All right. Well,
So,
continuing our talks of planes.
right. So it got us to thinking, or
No.
at least it got me to
No.
thinking, what
No.
is your favorite aircraft? And
Okay.
I address this question to you and the audience. So if you're listening, let us know. Seriously, same thing with the if you got an opinion on the reading book. The whole point of us making the show topics questions is so that you can answer them. So please leave your opinions in the comments
The
on these topics. We'd love to hear from you.
the
But
audience just saw me cycle through all of my pictures.
The audience just in
but anyway,
case.
so you know, to give a little background, when I first played the game Secret Weapons Over Normandy, like I said, I just finished uploading it. I fell in love with airplanes.
How
And
old were you?
that game was so awesome, and I I loved airplanes. Combine that with the fact that I went to the what is it called, the North American Air and Space Museum,
It should be empty.
or
Really?
it's in Ohio, right by the I believe it's called Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Oh,
There's
that's
a
awesome.
if you've never been there before, you have to go to it. Here, let me look up what the actual name of it is. This is something that if you're even remotely interested in aircraft, you have to go to this museum. This museum is amazing.
All right, so keep it going then, and mention your favorite aircraft.
So back in the day when I was, playing Secret Weapons over Normandy for the first time, I absolutely loved the P-38 Lightning, the airplane on the cover, the twin engine, very unique design. And I still think it's a cool aircraft, but I've seen some other ones. I also love the Me-262 that the Germans made because it was the first ever jet fighter, and it looks like a normal aircraft, but it's got jet engines. Ooh. But then when I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking about what aircraft have I ever read or listened to before that are really cool, and I decided that my favorite is the one that's showing right now. That is the F-86 Sabre. Now, the F-86 Sabre is a U.S. designed aircraft, and it was the fighter jet for the United States in the Korean War. And this thing is just awesome. I love looking at it. I don't know what it is, but to me, it's just a beautiful aircraft. You've got the wings swept back. You've got the air intake goes right down the entire nose all the way through the back. It's got the dome for the pilot. The thing just looks amazing. And it's got a really cool history, really cool history. We can't get to all the details on this show, but essentially they flew these over Korea and to some extent even fighting over China against the Soviet MiG-15, and it was a duel for the ages between aircraft. So I'm gonna send you another picture
Okay.
to post if it can actually copy and
While you're
go.
doing that,
So,
I'm gonna mention mine, and that
okay.
is the V-22 Osprey.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
The
Definitely.
V-22 Osprey is mainly a troop transport, I believe.
Is
There-
it actually a plane?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it's a legit plane.
It's
Looks like a helicopter.
yeah. Well, that's like the whole point. It is capable of vertical takeoff, and then the turbines will actually turn forward, and then it can fly like an aircraft, like a plane.
Believe it's a marine aircraft, right? The
I
Marines use it.
think so. I think that's right. Ah, that's an awesome picture. Oh wait, that's the Russian one,
Yeah.
right?
So
Star.
that picture that I just sent,
That's awesome, dude.
post it up there. Yeah, that's the comparison between the Sabre and the MiG-15. So just imagine those two fighter planes going at it in the high skies above Korea. The
That's
the
super
so-called the
awesome.
legendary MiG Alley. You gotta read it up. It's just amazing how the MiG actually outclassed the Sabre in so many different ways, but the U.S. pilots just knew what they were doing and tore those things out of the sky. The
Yeah, it
MiGs,
really comes down to not
the
what your
pilot
machine
skill. That's
what
what's
your
so amazing
machine's
about it.
capable of. It's what the pilot's capable of.
The pilot skill was superior in an inferior aircraft, and
Which
they
is
just
amazing.
absolutely destroyed these guys because the MiG could turn faster, it could accelerate faster, it could climb faster. But the thing that the Sabre had on it, I believe it had a better dive rate. So if you got above a MiG, you could just chase them down as you're flying down, and that's what they would do. They would get on top of them, and then the MiG pilot would just be screwed because they couldn't maneuver out of that situation. So I mean,
That's really
you
awesome.
you got to do some reading. You and the audience, you got to do some reading on the F-86 Sabre. I think it's just an absolutely amazing plane.
Go America.
Yeah, and the Osprey, that's it's such a unique but awesome looking
Yeah, it
aircraft.
is.
I will say it's versatile.
Yeah, it is. That's I don't know why, but I've always just had like a fascination with it. Where it's like I just love that design. I really do. To the extent to where, and this may sound super nerdy and whatnot, the extent that I like it so much that I am currently designing a modified version of the aircraft for our story.
The
Very,
term
very
nerdy is
nice.
subjective.
By the way, real quick, the link I just posted in there, you can put that in the description. That's the link for the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Ohio. We gotta
It's the
like
Air
go
Force
on. We gotta
Museum.
go on a field trip to that at some point. I would be totally willing to go with anybody that wants to go because I have not been there in nearly 10 years.
And what a better way to transition to our next topic
Oh yeah, exactly.
other than the bucket list. So I'm going to kick things off here.
All right.
And what?
Oh, I just don't get the planes.
Whatever. You're over here having your own inner monologue and
Well, I
whatnot.
was
We're just
thinking
going
the
off.
one that you put up was kind of ugly.
That still, that's why I'm making my own design. It's gonna be
Okay.
slicker. It's gonna have side bay doors, so that way there's repelling and everything. It's gonna be awesome. Don't laugh at me.
Not.
Yes, you are. Yes.
No.
My fiance's laughing at my
No,
creative
I'm
talent.
not.
All right, so the bucket list, and this is where I'm only gonna say one thing because there's so much that I would be willing to do, and obviously, writing
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be the main thing. Ow! Oh wow! I thought I untangled that. I did not. Whoops. So obviously, the book is on that list. Complete the book, you basically complete life. Save and quit.
Would
Essentially.
something you want to do this year specifically go on your bucket list?
No.
Oh.
I would say what goes on my bucket list would be something that requires maybe more than a year's worth of planning.
Makes sense.
At
Got
least a
your whole
couple
life to
months.
do it.
At least a couple months because it would most likely be expensive. It would be a trip. You would have to get time off of work and make sure that in case Jackson doesn't go with us, which he wouldn't to this spot, you know, Jackson's taken care of and it would most likely be like honest to God, probably like a week vacation, 2 week vacation, depending on how I handle it. That being said, what I am currently talking about is taking a road trip, driving to the Stanley Hotel out in Colorado.
That was unexpected. So what's so great about this hotel? I've not
The,
heard of it.
the Stanley Hotel was the inspiration behind the cult classic. I call it cult classic because I absolutely love it. Stephen King book The
Do you
Shining.
think that's why they call it the
Oh,
Stanley
okay.
Hotel?
What? Why?
Stanley Kubrick?
No.
Oh,
No. It was
because I thought it was called the Mountain Lodge.
no, 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 no. It's a mountain lodge. No, the Stanley Hotel
Oh,
was made by one of the Stanley brothers. I can't remember his name. Oh my god. See,
Francis and Friedland?
no, I don't think it was that, but it was two twins that essentially were like great tinkerers.
Promotion for lore?
Yeah, so
Great.
I've currently picked up Lore podcast and that show is amazing. If you like listening to eerie supernatural stuff or like murder mystery or just mysteries in general,
Or creepy things?
eerie, yeah. Lore
Yeah.
podcast is where you belong. It is so good. So, but anyway, so go watch him. He's awesome. Listen to him. He's awesome.
Use books.
Um,
Probably.
but yeah, no. So, one of the Stanley brothers went out to Colorado when he fell ill with tuberculosis. He beat tuberculosis.
That's
It's
quite an
incredible
achievement.
for that time.
Loved Colorado so much. Him and his wife built a hotel there. And so they say that the Stanleys never actually left. They're still around and you see their ghost all the time. Very creepy stuff, but like the the thing is that when listening to the podcast episode, he was saying how a man and his wife were vacationing at the end of the season, so they were really the only people there. And when the man had a nightmare that his son was being chased down the hall by like a fire hose or something, he woke
Really
up
weird.
in the middle of the night, lit a cigarette, and basically had the thoughts of The Shining like overnight at the Stanley Hotel.
That's awesome.
And it was, oh man, episode 10. I know it because that is literally my favorite episode. It goes back to one of my favorite stories, The Shining, and basically tells the backstory that
Oh, Freeland.
that happened to this hotel and the experiences that people have had and the experience that Stephen King had there, which essentially created this magnificent hellish story, nightmare.
Literally hellish.
And then it also spawned its sequel, Doctor Sleep, which I have yet to read, mainly because I have yet to read The Shining. And I made the mistake of watching The Shining and then immediately going, I love that movie. I want to read the book now. And it's like, I kind of don't want to read the book because I just watched the movie. The movie goes through the opening scene in like 5 minutes. and in the book it's like 10 pages.
Was that
And
a
it's like-
terrible gift package?
No, it was amazing. I loved it.
I know
And-
you loved the movie, but
Oh, the book's good too. You also got me Doctor Sleep.
well, I figured it was appropriate. Get you everything The Shining, but then you don't want to watch or read the book.
Because if same reason why I haven't read Abaddon's Gate. I destroyed Leviathan Wakes and Caliban's War. I had to double check on the second book. I destroyed those books like a month apiece, if that. And that was like reading in between work, reading at home, not doing anything else. I crushed those books and I loved them. Get to Abaddon's Gate and it's like, oh, do I need a break from the Expanse? I need a break from the Expanse.
It's too expanded.
Yay. Same reason I didn't watch season 2 of.
So it lives up to its name quite well then.
Oh, it's good.
It's in space.
Don't get me wrong. It's good. It's just like I burned myself out on it. There was too much at one time, and it's like I kind of want something different other than the Expanse. I want to know what happens. I'm gonna go back and finish it, but it's like I want something different, and I guess that's why I picked up 2001: A Space Odyssey and Dune.
Of course, because you love space.
Space is where I belong. If I could go to Mars, I would do it.
Probably not qualify.
Oh no, I'm definitely too fat and too
Yeah,
lazy.
Eric said they were only taking 10 people.
10 people. I heard 6.
Oh.
Maybe they
okay.
changed it. I don't know.
I didn't read up on it.
But-
It was long ago.
But still, like, I'm too fat and too lazy to actually be out in space and survive.
Plus, not to mention that when you're in the deep reaches of space, you actually start to lose your fitness and
Yeah,
everything
so
because of the gravity
it's,
and
it's just worse.
yeah, just ask Matt Damon. Andy Weir.
Martian. But no,
All right,
Anything
so
like that.
we've got about 2 minutes left to meet our 1 hour mark target. So maybe I should probably take my turn then.
well, this is the prototype. If we go a couple minutes over,
All right.
fine.
Not too much more though.
Yeah, no.
So go ahead and wrap up your side
Road
of the
trip
story.
out to the Stanley Hotel and stay a week there. And
Ooh,
then
that's ambitious. Stay a week.
it's a haunted hotel. I want
You
to.
gotta look through everything.
And then maybe on the way back we go to the National Museum of Aeronaut, whatever it was.
Air Force.
Air Force. Yes. We go to that on the way back.
telling
You
you,
go as
we-
Jennifer.
I'm telling you though.
No.
But I'm sure Daniel would like it.
Anyway, Matt.
All right. So I was thinking about this when I came up with the topic. I was thinking about what do I want to do before, time expires for me. And I was thinking, a lot of people like when they think the cliche for bucket list is, oh, I want to go skydiving, or I want to bungee jump, or I want to travel around the world in 80 days, or something like that.
Are you Jules Verne? Sign up now and make a ton of money with books.
Right? So I decided though that my stuff is more practical, and it's something that I feel like I can achieve maybe in the next 20 years. I can achieve all of this. And I can obviously, the nice thing about a bucket list is that it's yours and you can do whatever you want with it. You can add more stuff. You can
Right.
remove stuff. You can do whatever you want.
List.
So what I want to do is I want to be able to deliver a magnum opus in the following: music, writing, video game design, and if you want to even throw in, say, drawing, go for it. Basically, and I want to master at least 2 foreign languages. minimum.
All about the artisanal side of life.
Exactly. So
It's
my
very
bucket
nice.
list, my bucket list is not really about travel or anything. I mean, yeah, the world is full of sights to see. I'm kind of a homebody though, so for me, I want to be able to teach myself how to do all of these things and then deliver my masterpiece of work on it. But I want to write a whole music album and say, like, this is definitively my best music. I want to be able to draw or paint an amazing image and say, this is my pride. I want to finish our book or maybe even write a different book or something. I basically, and I'm already on that track. I've noticed that in the last couple months, I've been shifting away from just kind of, I think to me, the bane of achieving these things is to fall into the habit of just saying, I'm tired after work. I'm just going to turn on the Xbox and start playing games. Or I'm going to go on Steam and I'm going to start playing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's fun and it's entertaining, but I felt like in the past, playing games always got in the way of me actually achieving something awesome. I never really got too much into the guitar, or when I had all the time in the world about a year ago and I was studying Russian, I never really got too far in it because I didn't spend enough time on it, didn't take it seriously enough. So that's kind of, I've been getting into that path and that kind of mindset already where I've been kind of stepping away from stuff that's already made by people, and I've been starting to dabble into all this stuff. And the other thing is that I'm starting to really appreciate, like, say, music, for example. I'm starting to really appreciate more and more people that actually can write and play music, and if they can do both, that's even more amazing. Because it's not easy. I wrote up a draft of the theme song for this show. It's
Oh,
like it's like a minute and a
Forgot
half,
about that.
2 minutes long. Still need to record it, but it's like a draft. I feel like it could use more work, and the reason is because I need to read up more on music theory. I need to read up on keys. I need to read up on how chords are made, modes. I mean, there's all
if
these things. I was basically just going off of my instinct, which is eventually when you're a good musician, that's what you do. You're a really good musician can improvise, but a good musician can improvise knowing what they're doing. That's the difference. There's a big difference between just going on a piano and pounding out the notes and getting Beethoven criticizing you for having a lack of passion. Big difference between that and actually being
That
able to
sounds
just
really
sit at the
funny.
keyboard and, play notes and say, be totally improvising, but it's beautiful and you're telling a story by playing the notes and you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So
right.
I just had to drop that in
Oh
there.
my god.
Did we mention that on the show, by the
I
way, at
don't
all?
think we did. What was the movie
Okay.
again?
Firefox?
No.
No, 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 no. The
Stealth?
one with Beethoven.
Amadeus?
Your lack
That's
of passion
not.
Immortal
is,
Beloved?
yeah, that's what it was.
Beethoven.
Immortal Beloved. Post a link to that video in the description.
Does
God,
someone fall in love with Beethoven? Like,
no, it's
literally?
That,
Mortal.
that's if you're gonna watch that movie, invite me over. I want to see it.
I'm gonna find out where. Oh God, it's so
What
good. It's
is
it's Gary Oldman
Gary? Is
as
that Gary Oldman?
yeah, it's Gary Oldman as Beethoven, and
Okay.
I'll show you the. I'll post the link to the video that we're talking about. It. Oh my God, just out of left field, perfect. It makes me want to watch this movie. It makes me want to sit through whatever this movie is, watch it just for that scene, and not care about like going
Hey, I mean, it
through.
might actually be a really good
Hayes
movie besides
finally
that
showed
scene,
up.
but
Officially,
All right.
looks like he changed his avatar.
No, he didn't.
That
Uh,
was like black and swirly.
no. Immortal Beloved Terpes. Anyway, so that wraps up your bucket list,
mhm.
Miss.
Actually, both of yours, which may be too ambitious for my lifetime. I would,
That's the whole point of a bucket list, though, is to be ambitious.
Give you a swift kick in the ass so you actually get something accomplished.
I would like to travel both Route 66 and the Lincoln Highway, and maybe some others if they seem interesting. I would
Hmm.
like to take Jackson to Disney World when he gets older, obviously.
Oh, that's easy. That's it. That's a easy.
Yeah, you got to think higher there. You got to, deliver a magnum opus, or you have
Oh,
to
yeah, that's one of the
stay
things.
stay a week in a haunted hotel that inspired one of Stephen King's most famous works.
I
most
think-
terrifying works.
I think
Good God.
With all the other traveling, it'll take more than a week. But I would like to go on a heritage trip for me, and I would also like to go to Japan. Because
Now there's
anime.
something interesting.
I would like to.
Japan is the wonderful. What is it? The wonderful mecca for nerd culture, basically.
What's the real quick? What's the famous mountain
Fuji.
there? Fuji.
Is it?
Okay, that sounds right. I think there's like an old Japanese proverb that I heard once where if you don't climb to the top of that mountain in your lifetime at least one time, then you haven't lived. And if you climb to the top of that mountain twice, you're insane. Or something like it was something
Insane
along
Japanese
those lines.
That's awesome.
It was something along those lines. It's like something that would be totally amazing to do. See, that would be a great bucket list item.
I do like most of their food, at least I think. Maybe
You think until you get there, but hey,
maybe
no,
that's
that's
Americanized.
that's not bad. Not bad at all.
I also would like to try and learn 3 specific instruments. And
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
She's high roading us right now.
is what an instrument?
Nothing. Just continue.
Oh my God, no, no.
I had to do that just to anger March.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate Jacob. I'm gonna text him that.
That's right. That's right. Jacob always posts that in our chats, doesn't he? He always.
He does. He does. No. I'm sorry, guys. We're not gonna clarify it. If you missed it, I'm sorry. You missed it.
They can go back. Anyway, I would also like to crank out a book. Or
She's
more.
high roading us. We only gave
Yeah.
like 1 or 2. You gave 4. She's giving 29.
I told you it was too ambitious. I also want to read a majority of the books that I have. Because there's so many I haven't read. But they all seem so good. And there's some series that I haven't finished. Like Pirates.
Alrighty then.
That's everything. Oh, I
Fascinating.
also want to
You sure you
try
don't?
and learn
You don't
French
want
and
to
German more.
add a trip to Mars and explore Alpha Centauri and discover the newest alien species and then interact with it and basically become its god?
See, I think it would take too long to do that. At least each specific thing I said wouldn't take my whole life.
Well, then you better get working on it right now.
Yes.
All
I have
right.
a few books. Sorry.
So, this has been Social Outcast 2.0. We're trying out a new show format and trying our best to stick with it. Obviously,
Yep.
we ran 10 minutes over,
That's
but
not too bad. Usually, before we ran an hour over it.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, this has been our new rebirth of our podcast and fancy word upon fancy word. And until next time, I'm your host, Marsh.
The Radical Machine.
And Blitz, your host from Madness Scene.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this
Friday evening.
Friday evening and the renaissance of podcasting. Oh my god, that's an amazing title. Thank you, Terpes. Credit goes to you on that. We will see you guys next week. Bye, folks.